Tomorrow's Libra moon arrives like a gentle wind that finally clears the dust from everything that has felt unfair, unbalanced, or heavy on your heart. It carries the kind of energy that doesn't shout, doesn't force, and doesn't rush. Instead, it moves like truth rising to the surface after being held underwater for far too long. As the moon settles into Libra, you may notice the feeling of a long-delayed correction beginning to unfold in your life, as if the universe has been quietly keeping track of every moment where you were patient, every moment where you gave more than you received, and every moment where you waited for the scales to finally tip in your favor. This lunar shift isn't here to create drama, it's here to restore alignment. It's the cosmic moment where things that were taken from you drift back into your orbit, not because you chased them, but because they were always meant to belong to you. People who underestimated your worth may find themselves thinking about what you brought into their life. Opportunities you thought you lost may circle back with a different tone. The Libra moon tends to open doors with grace, but it closes them with clarity, and this time it's closing the chapters that have drained you and opening the ones that finally support your spirit. As the moon grows brighter, it begins activating situations that push honesty to the front. Conversations that were avoided now come up naturally. Misunderstandings that lingered suddenly resolve themselves. There is a strong sense of cosmic justice around this moon, the kind that doesn't just make things right, it makes things equal. If you have been feeling like the universe owes you a moment, a message, or a miracle, this moon brings that energy closer than ever. The world feels lighter under the Libra moon, but it also feels sharper. You become more aware of who truly values you and who only came to take advantage of your kindness. You may find yourself walking away from one-sided connections without any sadness, because something inside you finally understands that harmony is not created by holding on to people who don't meet you halfway. The moon's influence encourages decisions based on balance, not attachment. Everything you do under this energy carries the intention of healing something that has been uneven for far too long. This is also the time when karma moves quickly. Situations that felt stuck or frozen begin to shift. Payments arrive. Apologies appear. Truths come to light in ways that make sense of the confusion you've carried. And above all, the universe begins guiding you toward the version of your life where your efforts receive equal reward. It's almost like the moon is whispering that the waiting was never a delay. It was preparation, and now things are aligning exactly as they should. For many, this Libra moon opens a wave of emotional clarity. You may wake up with a sudden knowing of what you need to release, what you need to protect, and what you need to pursue with your whole heart. You may feel guided to set boundaries in places where you used to remain silent. You may realize that the love, energy, or stability you poured into other people is now flowing back to you from new and unexpected directions. The day carries a strong sense of reassurance, as if the universe is finally letting you exhale after holding your breath for months. You step into a moment where the spiritual, emotional, and material scales align, bringing you a sense of closure and reward that feels long overdue. Some of you will feel like justice is finally being served in areas where you once felt overlooked or undervalued. Others will feel a surprising shift in relationships, where the right people step forward and the wrong ones quietly fade out. The Libra moon is not chaotic. It is corrective. It straightens what has been bent. It heals what has been ignored. It returns what has been lost. And for those who have been carrying the weight of unbalanced energy, this moon arrives as a promise that everything you are meant to receive will find its way to you now. No force, no fear, no hesitation, just alignment unfolding exactly when the universe knows you're ready. As the night settles in, you may feel a quiet transformation within yourself. Not loud, not dramatic, but deeply powerful. It's the sensation of becoming aligned with your truth again. It's the universe handing back your strength, your voice, your value, and your peace. And when you wake up into this energy, you'll realize something important. You're finally stepping into a chapter where you get what you're owed. Not because you demand it, but because the universe recognizes its time. As the Libra moon unfolds, something inside you begins to rise. A quiet strength you didn't realize you had been growing piece by piece. It's the kind of inner power that comes from surviving chapters that were heavier than you admitted, from holding your heart together in moments no one else knew about. This moon touches that space within you gently, reminding you that balance isn't only something the universe creates outside of you. It is something you reclaim within yourself. You begin to feel more centered, more grounded, more aware of what you truly deserve, and for the first time in a long time, you don't feel the need to apologize for it. There's a magnetic shift in the air around this lunar transit. People who once took your presence for granted may suddenly become aware of the silence between you. They notice the absence of your energy, the warmth you use to give so effortlessly, and they feel something missing. Because it was you, the one who held everything together without recognition. Under this moon, those who undervalued you are confronted with their own imbalance. And those who truly care are pulled closer with a sincerity that feels unmistakably genuine. The emotional clarity this moon brings can feel like a mirror placed directly in front of your soul. You see yourself differently, not as someone trying to earn love or respect, but as someone who already carries worth. You start recognizing how many times you settled for less because you were afraid of losing people, and how those fears kept you tied to situations that were never meant to stay. This moon breaks those invisible chains softly, giving you permission to say no, to walk away, to protect your heart without guilt. For some, the Libra moon brings a surprising message or a long-awaited communication. Something you thought was forgotten suddenly returns with a tone of resolution and sincerity. You may find closure where you never expected it, or even a new beginning disguised as an old chapter, returning with cleaner energy. Life begins to sort itself out almost without your effort, because this moon works behind the scenes, shifting timelines, rearranging connections, and guiding you where harmony already exists. Another layer of this energy is a divine recalibration of your finances, opportunities, and stability. The moon highlights where you've given too much of your time without proper reward, and it begins steering you toward paths that honor your value. You may notice sudden motivation, unexpected luck, or a quiet sense of confidence rising around decisions you once hesitated over. This moon gives you the clarity to pursue what truly aligns with your future, not what temporarily soothes your past. As the night deepens, the Libra moon wraps the world in a serene but powerful glow, the type of glow that exposes everything pretending to be balanced and elevates everything that actually is. You begin to trust your intuition more. You start listening to the subtle pull inside your heart, telling you which direction feels peaceful and which feels forced. This moon teaches you that real alignment never feels heavy. It expands you instead of shrinking you, uplifts you instead of confusing you, and invites you forward instead of keeping you stuck. You may feel an emotional release, a sigh you didn't know your spirit was holding. Some will feel lighter, as if something that was clinging to their energy finally loosened its grip. Others will feel a spark of hope, a sense that something good is on its way, something fair, something deserved. The universe isn't just balancing the scales. It's placing you back into the chapter where your blessings can finally find you. When morning comes, you step into a new frequency without even trying. There's a calmness in your mind, a softness in your heart, and a quiet certainty that what you lost will be replaced with something better. You walk differently. You choose differently. You attract differently. Because now the Libra moon has aligned you with what matches your worth, not your wounds. And as the energy settles, you realize the universe was never ignoring you. It was preparing the moment where everything that was owed, everything that was delayed, and everything that was meant to return would arrive at the exact time you were strong enough to receive it. As this Libra moon energy settles deeper into your field, you may suddenly realize that things you once chased are beginning to chase you. Opportunities that once felt distant begin inching closer, almost as if they have been quietly waiting for the universe to open the right doorway. What felt blocked now feels possible, and what seemed complicated now begins to unravel with surprising ease. This is the magic of a moon that knows how to restore what was out of balance without causing chaos. It corrects quietly, but its impact is powerful. There is a soft awakening happening within your relationships as well. You might feel drawn to speak your truth in a way you weren't ready to do before, not from frustration, but from clarity. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to people who choose not to understand you. The Libra moon has a way of giving your intuition a voice, and when you speak under this energy, Your words carry a weight that others can feel. Conversations shift. People listen differently. The dynamics around you recalibrate in ways that finally honor your boundaries and your emotions. For those who have been carrying emotional debts that weren't yours, burdens from others, responsibilities they put on your shoulders, guilt that never belonged to you, this moon begins lifting them off layer by layer. It's as if the universe is saying, this is not yours anymore. And slowly you feel your spirit remembering what it feels like to stand without being weighed down by promises, expectations, or loyalties that were never equal. This is the moment where you reclaim the parts of yourself that were sacrificed to keep the peace. You may notice synchronicities appearing with unusual strength, repeating numbers, dreams that feel like messages, small signs that confirm you are stepping into the version of your life that you prayed for. These aren't coincidences. The Libra Moon amplifies communication between you and the universe. It opens the channels where guidance flows freely, and it reveals what your soul has been trying to tell you, that you are not walking into this next chapter alone. Everything around you is working to bring you into alignment. Emotionally, there is a softness in the air, but it is not weakness. It is the softness of someone who finally understands their worth. Someone who has learned how to give without draining themselves. Someone who has discovered that their peace is more valuable than any temporary attachment. The moon brings you into this understanding slowly and deliberately until you realize that nothing and no one can take from you what you are no longer offering freely. A sense of karmic closure begins circling old wounds. Not closure through confrontation or conflict, but through realization. You start to see why certain people left, why certain opportunities didn't survive, why certain relationships broke apart. The moon reveals that everything that fell away was making room for something balanced, reciprocal, and aligned with your true path. You feel gratitude for the pain that taught you, and peace for the lessons that shaped you. This is the kind of healing that arrives without effort, the kind that simply happens when the universe decides it's time. Financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you begin to feel restored. The universe is returning energy you have given for years, energy you sometimes thought you had wasted. But nothing was wasted. Every act of kindness, every moment of patience, every sacrifice, every prayer, every tear, all of it was creating the very alignment you're stepping into now. The Libra Moon is simply delivering what has been accumulating in silence. As tomorrow approaches, the energy becomes more radiant, more focused, more precise. You may feel your intuition sharpening, guiding you with a confidence you haven't felt in a long time. Trust it. This moon is known for accuracy. It doesn't guide you toward illusions. It guides you toward balance, healing, and truth. And the truth is, your moment is arriving. What was owed is returning. What was delayed is manifesting. What was imbalanced is correcting. And what was meant for you is finally finding its way back. As the Libra moon approaches its peak, you may feel an almost electric calmness settling inside your chest, a strange mixture of peace and anticipation, as if your soul already knows something is aligning behind the scenes. This is the kind of lunar energy that whispers before it speaks, nudges before it pushes, and prepares you gently for blessings that are already on their way. You might find yourself pausing more, observing more, breathing differently, as though life itself is slowing down just long enough for you to catch up with your destiny. There is a soft unraveling taking place. Old emotional knots are loosening. Past disappointments are losing their grip. The versions of you that carried guilt, doubt, or fear are beginning to dissolve. Under this moon, you don't have to force healing, nor pretend you've moved on. Something about this energy naturally pulls you out of memories that exhausted you and places you into a future that finally supports you. It's the moment where you step out of survival mode and into alignment mode, not because everything suddenly changed, but because you have.
With every hour closer to this lunar shift, the universe becomes more intentional. You may notice your mind becoming clearer, your heart becoming more honest, and your spirit becoming more receptive. The Libra moon doesn't demand transformation. It invites it. It opens a doorway you didn't see before, and your intuition begins guiding you through it almost effortlessly. You recognize that what is meant for you will move toward you without resistance, and what is not meant to stay will quietly fall away. This natural sorting feels calm, not painful, because balance always brings relief. Some of you will feel the presence of someone from your past entering your thoughts more than usual, not to reopen wounds, but to complete cycles. The moon brings closure like a gentle tide washing away old footprints. You understand the purpose of connections that once confused you. You see the lessons with more compassion. You feel forgiveness rising, not for them, but for your own heart. It's through this emotional softness that you finally release what was never meant to hold your future. This moon also amplifies your aura, making your energy more magnetic than usual. People feel drawn to you, not because you're trying to impress, but because you're finally vibrating from a place of truth. Your authenticity becomes your power. Your calm becomes your strength. Your silence becomes your protection. And without even realizing it, you step into a frequency where the universe places the right souls, the right opportunities, and the right timing directly in your path. There is also a shift in your inner dialogue. The voice that once doubted you begins to fade, replaced by a gentle certainty that everything you desire is not only possible, but preparing to manifest. You feel supported, guided, watched over. Subtle signs begin appearing with divine precision. A message at the right time, a dream that feels symbolic, a thought that feels like guidance rather than fear. The Libra Moon opens the intuitive doorway where your soul speaks louder than the noise around you. As you move through the night, you may notice your energy becoming lighter, as if a weight has been lifted that you didn't realize you were still carrying. Your shoulders relax, your breath deepens, your mind softens. It's the universe reminding you that you're entering a chapter where you don't have to fight for what is yours. You don't have to chase, force, prove, or plead. You simply have to allow. By the time this moon reaches its full influence, you'll feel a shift, not only in your circumstances, but in your identity. You are becoming someone new, someone more aligned, more aware, more deserving, more balanced. Someone who finally receives what they've been owed for far too long. Someone who walks into the next chapter with clarity instead of confusion, peace instead of pressure, and purpose instead of uncertainty. And as the energy settles, one thing becomes undeniable. The universe has decided it is time for your blessings to locate you. Time for justice. Time for balance. Time for the scales to tip in your favor. Time for everything you lost to return in a better form. Time for the next version of your life to begin. One that reflects your worth, not your wounds.